Hello YouTube, it's Supernova back with more DCS A-10C. Today we're looking at aircraft taxi and takeoff. We're at Koboleti Airfield preparing for a flight to Senaki Kolki. First we'll complete our final checks before we taxi to the active runway. Check the caution panel for any warning notifications. Engine monitoring instruments check within normal operating parameters. Engine interstage turbine temperature or ITT indicators are below 150 C. RPM is between 56 and 98%. Hydraulic pressure is between 2,800 and 3,350 psi. With toe brakes active, move throttles from idle to maximum power and back to idle. RPM should not exceed 70%. Throttle should be stabilized at idle for at least 10 seconds. Flaps, maneuver. The maneuver position adds 7 degrees of flaps. When used during takeoff, flaps reduce the amount of runway required, in exchange for a reduction in aircraft climb rate. To lower the flaps, press F. To raise the flaps, press left shift and F. Nose wheel steering, engage. To engage nose wheel steering, press the nose wheel steering button or the insert key. Speed brakes closed. To view speed brake position, look back towards the left or right wing. Open the speed brakes with left control and B, and close them with left shift and B. Takeoff trim, press. Pressing the takeoff trim button sets all the trim tabs to neutral settings. The takeoff trim light will illuminate to indicate trim tabs have been set. Navigation mode select EGI TACAN. The embedded GPS INS or IGI navigation system is the A-10C's primary navigation system. The Tactical Air Navigation System or TACAN is selected for departure navigation. It provides heading and range information which is displayed on the HSI and ADI. The Koboleti TACAN channel is 67 X-ray. To use the Koboleti TACAN channel, enter 67 using the channel selector switches. TACAN mode, transmit receive. Transmit receive mode receives bearing, course deviation, station identification and range information from the TACAN. The station identifies itself by transmitting its call letters in Morse code every 37.2 seconds. To adjust the volume of the TACAN audio signal, rotate the volume knob. Set the HSI course to the 043 TACAN radial. Oxygen flow normal. The aircraft is now ready to taxi to the active runway. Request permission to taxi from Koboleti Tower. With the VHF AM radio set to the Koboleti Tower frequency, open the VHF AM menu. To open the VHF AM menu, press the mic switch to forward or press left alt to numeric plus. To request permission to taxi from the tower, press F1.
Cabo Eddie, Colt 1-1. Request taxi to runway. Colt 1-1. Cabo Eddie, clear to taxi to runway 7.
Position lights flash. Lights taxi. Page select position. In this position, the POS info page is displayed on the Control Display Unit, or CDU. To cycle speed options on the POS info page, press Line Select key or LSK at the top right until ground speed or GS is displayed. Check that the CDU display is repeated on the MFCD. Push the throttles forward until the aircraft begins to move, and adjust power as required to maintain the desired ground speed. Use the rudder pedals to steer left and right. Monitor ground speed on the MFCD. Maintain speed between 15 and 25 knots with the toe brakes or the W key. It may be necessary to slow to 10 knots when turning the aircraft. Unless cleared for takeoff by the tower, hold short of the runway. We're now ready to request takeoff clearance. To request takeoff clearance, open the VHF AM menu and press F1.
Couple Eddie, Colt 1-1, request takeoff. Colt 1-1, Couple Eddie, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.86.
With takeoff clearance, lights, landing. Position lights, steady. Anti-collision lights, on. Cobbletti runway 07 heading is 064 degrees. When entering the runway, line up on the centre line and roll forward to straighten the nose wheel. Apply toe brakes when approximately on the runway heading. Engine monitoring instruments check within normal operating parameters. Anti-skid on. Caution panel check warning notifications. Pitot heat on. In this position the pitot is heated to prevent icing. The pitot tube is used to determine airspeed. On the right MFCD, cycle speed options on the POS info page by pressing OSB 7 until indicated airspeed or IAS is displayed. Apply toe brakes and increase throttles to 90% core RPM. Release brakes and advance throttles to 100% or military power. Maintain centerline with the rudder pedals as required. Disengage nose wheel steering at or before 70 knots, indicated airspeed. Aircraft rotate speed is approximately 135 knots with a combat load. When airspeed reaches 125 knots, pull back on the stick gently and establish a pitch angle of 10 degrees. With the aircraft at a positive rate of climb, raise the landing gear with the G key. The flaps will retract automatically when airspeed exceeds 185 to 219 knots, depending on altitude. I hope you enjoyed that look at aircraft taxi and takeoff. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you again for the next DCS A-10C video.